and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name is Alexis and I post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love a recipe video like this one and you want to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you 3 of my favourite vegan spag bowl recipes. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you 3 of our favourite vegan spag bowl recipes. We love spaghetti bolognese in this house. During the week we try to eat vegan or vegetarian foods, and I try to keep things interesting and change our meals a lot. And over the past few years I've come up with quite a lot of different recipes, and I have also come up with quite a lot of spaghetti bolognese recipes as well. So I wanted to share 3 of our favourite vegan spaghetti bolognese recipes with you today. I'm going to preheat my oven to 160 degrees. Grab myself a large pan and I'm going to put this onto a high heat on my hob, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the base of that pan like so. And I'm going to leave the pan to heat up. The oil has started to smoke, so what I'm going to do is I am going to add in 1 onion that I have peeled, sliced and diced. So I'm going to put that into the base of my pan, like so. And I'm going to fry the onion now for about 5 minutes or so, or until it just becomes, it starts to soften and it becomes clear and see-through as well. The onions have started to soften and they've also started to become clear and see-through as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my garlic now. So I've peeled and sliced 2 whole cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to pop those into the pan as well. And I'm going to fry these until these start to go a golden brown colour. So probably for about a minute or so, and then hopefully they should just start to go a lovely golden brown colour. So the garlic has been frying for about 2 minutes and it has started to turn a golden brown colour, as you saw there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in about 100 grams of butternut squash. So I'm going to add that to the pan as well. And then I'm also going to add in 1 red pepper that I have taken the top from, removed the core and the seeds and the green stalk as well, and then I just sliced and diced the flesh. So I'm going to add that in as well. And I'm going to fry these now. Now these probably won't get that soft because they are quite chunky, but you just basically want to heat them through so they go nice and soft when they're in the oven, so they soften quite nicely. So yeah, I'm just going to heat these through for about a minute or so now. The pan is getting slightly too warm as well, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the heat down slightly. I'm going to add a little bit of water to the base of the pan so that nothing sticks as I'm cooking it. So I'm just going to continue to fry these vegetables. I've been frying them for about 2 minutes and they haven't really got softer, but you can feel they're slightly softer, so I think that's good enough. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 1 peeled and grated courgette and 1 peeled and grated carrot as well. So I'm going to add that to the base of my pan, like so. And I'm going to fry these now. And the courgette and the carrot probably will soften slightly, to be honest. As they're grated, they do tend to soften a lot easier than the pepper and the butternut squash. I have grated butternut squash before in the past, but it does give you quite an arm ache, I have to say. I love to cook and I love to experiment, but there are some things about cooking that I really don't like to do. And grating a butternut squash, I think I've decided, is one of those. So yeah, I might prefer to peel and chop them. Plus, once they've been cooked down, butternut squash tends to dissolve in a sauce anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. And I do like a few bigger chunky bits in my meals as well. If you wanted the butternut squash smaller than this, then you are more than welcome to cut it smaller, but I do like chunky bits of butternut squash, I have to say. The sunshiny colour really makes me smile. Butternut squash and carrots make me smile, I don't know why, they just do. So yes, anyway, I'm going to continue to fry this for a further minute or so now. So everything has cooked beautifully in the pan. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my lentils to this. And I've got about 200 grams of lentils. I'm making the meal as if it serves 4 people. It's actually serving Howard, myself and my son this evening. And then I will have the leftovers tomorrow for lunch. So yeah, I'm just going to continue to fry this now until probably for another minute or so. I just want to heat the lentils up as well. I want to warm them through so that they cook a bit better when I put them into the oven. So the lentils have heated through now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my tomatoes to this dish. And I'm also going to add in some vegetable stock as well. I've got about 400 ml of vegetable stock. And the trick I like to use is I like to pour the vegetable stock into the tomato tin, because then that gets rid of any excess juice from the tomato tin. And then I'm just going to pour the rest of the vegetable stock in as well. And I'm going to even push all of the ingredients down from the sides of the pan so that everything hopefully cooks beautifully in this pan. And I've got some bay leaves here that I'm going to add in as well. Bay leaves give it a lot of flavour. My dad always used to use them when he made the spaghetti bolognese. So I do like to use them. And they're also really good for the stomach as well. If you're suffering with stomach aches, then bay leaves are the way to go. And then I've also got about a teaspoon of dried mixed herbs that I've added in as well. So I'm just going to move these ingredients round, and then finally to that I'm going to add some salt and some pepper as well. So I'm going to add a couple of pinches of salt to this, like so, and then I'm going to add a little bit of pepper as well, not too peppery. Obviously I'm serving this to a little one who doesn't like pepper too much, but if he doesn't know it's in there, then he doesn't mind. So yeah, now I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to pop this into the oven. Well, actually might bring it to the boil first. I'm going to bring this to the boil and then I will pop it into the oven. So I'm just going to bring this to the boil now. Finally, the ingredients have come to the boil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the lid back on, and I'm going to put this into the oven for about an hour. The spag bowl, well, the sauce for the spag bowl has been in the oven for about an hour now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and add some kale and some basil and some pasta, and that will be our dinner done. As I just mentioned, I'm going to add some kale and some basil to my sauce now, and I've cooked off some split green pea pasta as well, and I'm going to add the pasta to the sauce and not the other way round, and then I will mix these ingredients together like so, and that is our dinner done. So the first thing I've done is I put a large saucepan, and I'm going to put that onto a high heat now, and then I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the base of the pan, probably about a teaspoon or two, and then I'm going to brush the oil around the base of the pan with my plastic brush until it's all evenly spread across the base. I do this so that I don't use too much oil, but there's enough in there to fry the onion and the garlic in and stuff, so that's why I always use a plastic brush. And now what I'm going to do is just leave this to heat up. So the base of the pan has started to get nice and hot, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 onion which I've peeled and sliced and chopped to the base of this pan, and I'm going to fry this now until it starts to soften and become see-through and clear, translucent, whatever word you want to use. So yeah, I'm just going to continue to fry this until it starts to soften and become clear. So the onion has started to soften beautifully now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a teaspoon of garlic. Sorry, because I always use garlic granules. I've peeled and chopped 2 garlic cloves. There you go. Yeah, it's because I always use garlic granules, I think, nowadays, but I decided to use a garlic for this because sometimes I do like the fresher taste of garlic. Garlic granules are really handy to have in the cupboard if you don't fancy peeling and chopping like a clove of garlic. It's always really handy to have them, and the taste of them is amazing as well. This pan is now getting very hot, so what I'm going to do is turn the heat down a little bit. And this recipe is on my blog. There are lots of vegan, vegetarian and meat eater dishes on my blog, and I will link my blog in the description box below for you. There's over 700 recipes on there now, so I'm really proud to say that. So anything, there's desserts, there's yeah, as I said, vegan, vegetarian, desserts, drinks, all sorts of stuff on there. So if you want to go and check that out, please do. And as I said, I will link the blog, the address in the description box below. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, in this bowl I have 1 grated carrot, 1 large grated carrot which I've peeled. I also have 1 large grated courgette which I've also peeled, and I have chopped and sliced and diced a pepper as well. I'm going to add these to the base of my pan now. And the reason I slice and dice my pepper so small and grate my courgette and carrot is simply because my son is a little bit of a fussy eater, so if there's big chunks of carrot in there he won't eat it, whereas if it's grated he doesn't really know it's in there. I know it's a bit naughty, but I do like him to have vegetables in his diet, and if he doesn't know it's in there he just eats it anyway regardless. So yeah, so I know it's a bit naughty of me, but it just keeps my peace of mind, that's all, and I don't have to have a continual disagreement with my son about vegetables at the dinner table, and everybody eats and they're happy. So yeah, so I'm going to fry these now until they start to soften. So everything has started to soften beautifully. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in my tinned tomatoes to this. So I've got 2 tins of peeled and chopped tomatoes. So I'm just going to add those in, and there's 1 and there's 2, and I'm going to mix that round. And to make this dish a bit extra tasty, I'm also going to add some soya sauce or tamari as well, and that is gluten-free. Tamari is gluten-free soya sauce, and the beans in tamari are actually just fermented a bit longer, that's why it's gluten-free, but this just adds an extra bit of zing to the spag bowl, and I love adding it to a spaghetti bolognese as well. I would even add that in a meat dish as well, with turkey or with minced beef. It tastes amazing. It makes it just that extra bit tasty. And I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato puree as well to that, or you can add my Tommy K, which is my tomato ketchup recipe, and I will link that in the description box below for you if you want to go check that out. I've just done one on how to do it on the hob, and there's also one on how to do it in a slow cooker as well, how to make it in a slow cooker. So yeah, so please go check those out. So yeah, I'm just going to leave this to sit and simmer for a while I go and drain my beans now. So I've drained and rinsed my beans, so I've got my black beans in here and my haricot beans. You can use any type of bean you like. And now what I'm going to do, just before I put the beans in, I actually forgot to sprinkle in the oregano. So I've got a teaspoon of oregano that needs to go in. So I'm just going to stir this around. Yeah, so as I was saying, you could use any type of bean you like. If you like red kidney beans, then please use them. If you like butter beans, then please use those. Borlotti beans, any type of bean you wanted to. It tastes good with any sort of bean. I just find this is a really nice combination. So I'm going to add the beans in now. And yeah, I'm just going to mix these in. And I'm going to leave this to sit and simmer while I cook my pasta now. So while my pasta is boiling, I had a little taste of the spaghetti bolognese sauce. And what I'm going to do is just add a pinch of salt and a little bit of pepper as well. I forgot to do that earlier, so I just thought I'd do that while the pasta is boiling. So I'm just going to mix those in now, and I'm going to continue to leave this to simmer and let the pasta boil away as well. So I've cooked and drained the pasta, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pasta into the sauce and not the other way round. I'm just going to mix these together, and then I'm going to serve some of this into a bowl and have this for my dinner. So I'm really looking forward to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've put a large pan, and I'm going to put that onto a high heat, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the base of the pan. Just a teaspoon or 2, and then I'm going to spread that around with my plastic brush if I don't drop the brush. So I'm just going to spread the oil around the base of the pan until it's all evenly spread, and then I'm going to leave this pan to heat up now. Right, so the pan is sizzling away nicely, and what I've got in here is 1 garlic clove, a really large garlic clove, chopped up. It does call for an onion, this recipe, but unfortunately my son can't eat onion at the moment, so I'm only using the garlic in the recipe, and I'm just going to fry the garlic off a little bit until it just sort of colours on the bottom of the pan. I have turned the heat down a little bit on this pan as well, because it was really hot just then. So yeah, so if you feel the pan gets a little bit too hot, then just turn it down slightly. And I'm just going to fry this now until it sort of starts to soften, basically. So the garlic has started to soften, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some grated butternut squash. Again, the original recipe calls for carrot, but unfortunately my son can't have carrot either at the moment, so I'm using butternut squash instead. And I'm just going to add that to the base of the pan. I'm just going to fry that round now. And I'm also going to add 1 red pepper and 1 yellow pepper, and these are in the recipe. So I'm going to add that to the base of the pan as well. And I'm just going to fry this until everything becomes soft. All the vegetables just have to sort of soften a little. It just helps with the cooking process. So once you start to soften the vegetables, they will hopefully cook really nicely in the spaghetti bolognese sauce. So everything has started to soften beautifully now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 tins of tomatoes to this as well. These are plum tomatoes. It doesn't matter what sort of tomatoes you use. You can use chopped tomatoes, you can use plum tomatoes, absolutely fine. And then I'm just going to add 2 tins in here. So I'm making this for 4 people. I will probably have leftovers and put the rest in the freezer tomorrow. But Howard and and Ted will have this for dinner tonight. Ted only has a little bit of it at the moment, so I don't need to think about that. And then I'm going to put 250 ml of vegetable stock into the pan as well. And I'm going to put it into the tins and swirl the tins round a little to get the excess juice from the inside of the tin. That's my little trick. I think that works on that one as well. So yes. Now I'm just going to stir all of these ingredients together until everything is well mixed in. I'm going to try and break up the big tomatoes in here as well, just to make it a bit easier for it to cook down. And then I'm going to add my lentils in. Now I've got about 300 grams of red lentils, and I'm just going to add these to the pan. And this is sort of the meat substitute. I really like red lentil spaghetti bolognese as well because it's very sweet. It's got a very sweet flavour to it, and I really like that. And lentils are such a great way to fill yourself up, and they're full of protein as well. Really good plant-based protein these are. And I'm also going to add 2 bay leaves to this as well. And I'm going to get some oregano. Add a teaspoon of oregano to this as well. Or oregano, if that's what you call it. I think that's what they call it in America, isn't it? I would be adding basil to this as well, but I actually can't have basil either at the moment. So to make this a little bit tastier, I'm going to add some tamari to it. Tamari is a fermented soya sauce. It's been fermented for longer, so it's much better for the body if it's fermented for longer, soya sauce. And it's gluten-free as well, which is why I use it, because I'm actually gluten intolerant. So this is a great soya sauce gluten-free alternative. And they sell this in my local supermarket as well. It's slightly more expensive than other soya sauces, but I don't use it too often, and I do try to make it last me as well. So I'm just going to bring this to the boil. This looks as though it's coming to the boil now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat right down to low. So that's about a 4 on my hob. And I'm going to leave this to simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes now. And I'm going to go away and I'm going to cook my pasta while that's cooking. I also forgot to add a little bit of salt and pepper to my bolognese sauce. So salt and pepper to your taste. So I'm just going to mix those around now, and again I'm just going to leave this to simmer now. So I have taken out about half of the bolognese sauce, and I've put it into Tupperware boxes for another time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some spinach to this. As I said earlier, if I was making this a few months ago before I went to see my homeopath, I would have added basil as well, but unfortunately I can't have basil at the moment, so I'm just adding the spinach to this, and I'm just waiting for my pasta to boil, and once it's boiled I'll add that to the bowl, to the sauce as well. So my pasta has now cooked. I'm not actually using spaghetti, I'm using green lentil twist, shock horror, and I'm just going to add the pasta to the sauce, and I'm going to mix that round like so, and that, my friends, is dinner done. That that's how you make 3 of our favourite spaghetti bolognese recipes, and I will link those in the description box below for you. But for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.